Okay, so I just got home from my camp trip. It's Wednesday afternoon, and I came home to an early birthday present, and Marina just hit it out of the park. So let me show you what she got me for my birthday. First of all, who's hiding in the closet but our faithful cat? Say hello, Kiki. All right, this is the room that I use for my little home studio. I've kind of got it.
Man cave.
Yeah, kind of a man cave. But this is what Marina gave me for my birthday. Say hello, darling.
Hello, darling.
Hello, darling. But she is helping me to fix up my studio, and look at what she got me. And you'll see that on the next video. I got a big on-air sign, a fluorescent on-air sign, and these two new professional lights that will blind you. I've been having to lug all kinds of lights in here because you gotta have a lot of light to make your videos, you know. These things are blindingly bright.
Okay.
So this is just fantastic. That just made my day. You done good, darling.
You're welcome.
Hey, you want to hear the most annoying sound ever? You might want to cover your ears and maybe cover your eyes.
Republicans, that we will not take this. We will fight back.
Fight back. Fight back.
And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and goddamn it, shut down the Senate. We are at war. Anytime a person can pay $250 million into a campaign and they be given full access to the Department of Treasury of the United States of America, we are at war. Right. Thank you.
And we are on. Sorry about that. That was tough to watch, wasn't it? And even more difficult to hear. So what is going on? That was just one sample of many that I could have supplied on the show. By the way, welcome everybody to Triple T. I am Tim, and I'm glad you're here with me in my updated studio because I got, it was earlier in the video. You saw what happened. So I am being blinded by the light, but it's all necessary and it's all good. Anyway, there are a lot of video clips out there that I could have played which shows these shrieking, howling Democrats who are coming unglued about the fact that they are being exposed. That's what's happening right now, thanks to Elon Musk and Donald Trump. They are exposing all of the fraud and the abuse and the financial mismanagement of U.S. aid and other government agencies. What's happening here is that Trump and Musk are over the target. Now, so many of these Democrats are saying things like, we didn't elect Elon Musk as president. Nobody elected Elon Musk to serve as president. He didn't get any votes. He's a billionaire who has bought his way in this business and all this kind of nonsense. I'm going to try and insert a photo. It might be at the end of this video. There's a really interesting photo that shows a gaggle of Democrats, high-powered, influential Democrats, who are taking selfies, if you will, with Alex Soros, the son, of course, of George, and I have maintained on my channel, in response to nobody voting for Elon Musk. Well, guess what, Democrats? Nobody voted for George Soros either, but we got him anyway, didn't we? Nobody voted for Bill Gates, but we got him anyway, and his power and his money and their influence over the American government. You didn't say a word then. I wonder why. Could it be that maybe they were padding your coffers in order to wield their influence over the United States government? Is that possible? And now it's being exposed by Elon Musk. I don't care how much money Elon Musk has got. I don't care if he's got $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion. If he's doing the right thing, I'm all for it. And what's happening here is Trump and Musk are over the target. That's why they're getting the fire. It's as simple as that. These people are such hypocrites. They're so phony baloney. They are all bought and paid for. They're on the payroll of every lobbyist, every pharmaceutical corporation you can think of, powerful Israeli lobbies, and that crosses party lines, by the way, over and over and over again. The party's over. Donald Trump is pulling the plug. He's exposing them, and that is why they're howling. One congressman from Texas, Representative Al Green, can you say it, friend? Let's stay together. No, not that Al Green. Al Green, the lunatic congressman from Texas, has already filed articles of impeachment against Donald Trump, as he did multiple times during Trump's first term as president. This isn't going to go anywhere. It's all for show. But these Democrats are coming utterly unhinged. The ones in Congress and the ones in the media, the gals on The View, Sunny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg, and on and on and on it goes. They are losing their minds because they are being exposed. What a great day it is when the lights are turned on and the cockroaches go to running. That's what's going on. That's why you're hearing the shrieking and the howling, because they fear that the party is over. And I hope it is over. I hope that people like Ilhan Omar, I hope that the newly sworn in Attorney General Pam Bondi will go after Ilhan Omar and others. Ilhan Omar should not be in the United States, much less representing Minnesota. I believe she's in the Twin Cities as a congressional representative. She shouldn't even be in the nation, as far as I'm concerned. She should be deported tomorrow. That's Barack Obama's gal, you know. He got her in here. And she had to, what was it, didn't she like marry her brother in order to get citizenship in the United States? Total fraud, total lawbreaker. She should not be here. She should be deported back to Sudan or Somalia, I believe it was, where she came from. She is an enemy of the state. It's Ilhan Omar who said of the 9/11 hijackers, on 9/11, some people did some things. Yeah, some people did some things, honey. Whose side are you on? I think we all know that. All right, now, I want to backtrack just a little bit before I continue with some other things I want to talk about today. In my latest video, I put up 2 yesterday. One was just a personal video I shared with you about my camping trip to Jennings Ferry. I hope you got to see that. It was a lot of fun. But I'm back in the saddle. But my last regular video that I put up yesterday, or Wednesday, I guess it was. What is today? Today's Thursday, yeah. That was on Wednesday. In that video, I talked about Donald Trump basically saying that America was going to go in and take over Gaza. You remember that. I don't know what grand designs he has in mind. Trump is a builder. He is a planner. He's a real estate mogul. We all know the things he's done literally all over the world in building all sorts of golf courses and resorts and what have you. And he's saying at this joint press conference he had with Benjamin Netanyahu that we're going to go in and take Gaza over and we're going to turn it into something beautiful. I don't have his exact quote in front of me. And I found that to be offensive and outrageous, and I maintained in that video that this is not America first. This is not putting America first, and it has the makings of another military entrapment or another Vietnam-like episode where we go in militarily and we stay there for years. And we don't need another repeat of Vietnam or Iraq or Syria, or any of these other nations. We need to mind our own business. I said in that video, this is not an America first move. Now, what is really happening here, folks? Some of you in the last video commented on this, and I think you're onto something. I've been thinking about it, and I've talked before about how Trump is the ultimate negotiator and the ultimate deal maker, and that is true. And when you're making a deal, it's fundamentally true that if you are the one who wants something of your competitor or whoever you're trying to make a deal with, of course, in deal making, in negotiating, you always ask high. You always ask more than you actually want. If I'm selling you a car and I really want $10,000 for it, I may tell you I've got to get $15,000 for the car. That's how negotiations go. You ask high so that you can get to the figure that you actually want. And I suspect that Trump, and I hope this is true, I don't know if this is true. As I pointed out in that video, Trump talks in grandiose terms. He may be basically asking high. He may be setting the bar so high. I watched that video again, and it even seemed like Netanyahu was a little taken aback by what Trump was saying, almost like this is not what we talked about in our private meeting. So I don't have any way of knowing that. But the reality of the situation is this. Trump may just be asking high with something else in mind. In the final analysis, I really don't believe that we're going to be seeing a resettlement of the Gazan people because, first of all, where are you going to put them? Could you put them in Ukraine? Could you bring them to the States? Where else are you going to put these people? This is their home. And I just don't think that is feasible. I don't think it's realistic at all. Gaza is where Gazans live. It is their home. I wouldn't want to be. It's not like it hasn't been done in history. I understand that. But I don't think it's realistic at all to do something like that, to displace these people who have suffered so horribly. Now, you know, Trump may have his sights set on the rich mineral deposits that are around Gaza. He may be seeing, as I said in that video, the opportunity for development along the coast of Gaza, which is beautiful, I hear. He may just be seeing the opportunity there. I understand all that. But we've got to get realistic about this thing. The most important thing of all is that the war come to an end. And if I were advising Donald Trump, I would simply say, look, you need to focus your efforts on ending this conflict. America needs to be deal-making in terms of ending wars. I am all for diplomacy. I am all for negotiations between Gaza and Israel, Ukraine and Russia, and anywhere else there's a conflict. If we can play peacemaker, that's fine. I've got no problem with that. We need to get back to the lost art of diplomacy, which we haven't had at least since the time of Papa Bush. This is statecraft. This is how nations should interact with one another diplomatically, only bringing out the cannons when it is absolutely necessary. But it hasn't been necessary for the United States to bring out the cannons, if you ask me, in probably, 40 years now? So we need to do our best. We need to use our State Department in the role of a peacemaker. That's what we need to be doing as far as I'm concerned. All right, let me move on. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the TTT Job-A-Thon. That's right. Everybody get ready. Call in now, 1-800-JOB-A-THON, or whatever the phone number is. We have operators standing by because we need your help. We're having the first ever Job-A-Thon on the TTT channel. What on earth are you talking about, dude? Have you lost your ever-loving mind? Well, maybe. But anyway, yes, that's right. It's a Job-A-Thon. We've got to find some jobs for people looking for work. And if you're watching me right now and you have a job you can offer to someone, I need you to pay close attention. Or if you're watching me right now and you know where for some job opportunities exist, I need you to weigh in and stand by your phone. Get ready to call into our operators with your job opportunities for those seeking employment. Who am I talking about? I am talking about federal workers who have lost their jobs. Those who were employed with U.S. aid are going to be looking for work. Those who were working for the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, have been terminated and they need a job. Donald Trump has offered a buyout not only to 2 million federal employees and the bureaucratic class surrounding the Beltway, but he has also offered to buy out every single employee of the Central Intelligence Agency. Woo, baby! These are some high times in America right now. Now, we don't know how many people there are that work for the CIA. That's classified. Nobody's telling us how many there are. I think there's a lot. But all of these people that I just mentioned are going to be looking for work. Now, the federal employees that got the buyout offer, they're getting 8 months' salary if they accept the offer. I'm hoping they will all accept the offer. We shall see. So they've got a little time to play with and to be looking for work. But we're looking for jobs for these people. So I implore all of you, Triple T viewers, if you have a job for any of these displaced bureaucrats, it's time for you to step up and do your duty as an American or a citizen of the world to find a job for these fired federal workers or displaced federal workers. Now, I suspect a lot of these people are going to need a really good, high-paying job because, as we know, the richest neighborhoods in the world are those that surround Washington, D.C. I'm talking about Alexandria, Virginia, and Fairfax, Virginia, and all of these towns in and around and outside of the Beltway, Georgetown, Maryland, and all these places, Bethesda. All these people have high-dollar homes because they had high-dollar federal jobs with great benefits. So the job that you have to offer them needs to be a pretty good job. I'm not talking about the assistant manager at McDonald's, although that was good enough for President Trump, and it's good enough for us regular hard-working folk. We're going to have to step up our game, folks, in finding a job for these displaced federal workers. So go ahead and call in now. Operators are standing by. I was trying to think, do I have a job I could give anybody that's been displaced? Well, I'm looking for a producer for the Triple T broadcast, so if you have production experience, you might want to give me a call because my current producer is starting to give me some trouble because every time I hand over the equipment to her and say, hey, can you help me edit this video, she goes, you have got to learn to do this yourself, honey. And she's also grumbling about the pay. So I don't think I can pay much. It's probably below minimum wage, but there you have it. Or maybe I could get somebody to help me sling cake part-time. I don't know. I'll do my role as a great American trying to help those looking for work. But if you know of a job for these displaced federal workers, now's the time. Uncle Sam is calling you, and now's the time for you to step forward and say, I've got a job for this displaced federal worker. I've got a job digging a ditch over here, or I've got a job with Uber that they could fill, or something like that. Anyway, stand tall, folks. We got to find jobs for these people, so call now. Actually, I guess I need operators. I don't actually have operators standing by. All right. Here's some great news for you. How about this? Have you heard this? Argentina. You know, the United States has left the World Health Organization. It's one of the first things Donald Trump did in this whirlwind first 2 weeks. He got us out of the WHO, and good for him. Well, Argentina has followed suit. Do you remember who is the president of Argentina? That would be Javier Milei, who bills himself as a libertarian. I don't agree with the libertarians on everything, but this guy is turning his nation around, and good for him. And today he has pulled, I think it was yesterday, I think on Wednesday, he pulled Argentina out of the World Health Organization. So it's a good day to be an Argentinian. That's fantastic. Hopefully some other nations will follow suit and we can put the WHO out of business. How you like my on-air sign? Isn't that neat? That was one of my early birthday presents. My birthday is this month, and I got a lot of equipment here, as I shared earlier in the video. Isn't my wife a sweetheart? She just did so good to give me my birthday. I told her, I said, it's not my birthday yet. My birthday is the 23rd, so you're not off the hook just yet. And she said, no, I'm off the hook. This is for you to enjoy all month and beyond. So I guess this is it. Maybe I can get her to buy me a steak or something. I don't know. We'll see. All right, one more thing before I go. Man, there's so much going on. There's no shortage of material. Just, I like to read Citizens Free Press, among others. I read a lot of sources. I watch a lot of videos to pan for gold for my own videos. There's no lack of material, let me tell you right now. By the time I shoot a video, get it edited, get it uploaded, and release it, a half dozen other things have happened that I want to talk about. But I feel like a hamster in a cage trying to get caught up. But I want to talk about this. As you may know, this Sunday is the Super Bowl. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. That's my son Joe. That's his team. He loves the Eagles. It's the Philadelphia Eagles versus, yet again, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the commissioner of the NFL, you know what NFL stands for? It stands for No Fun League. Actually, it stands for National Football League. But the commissioner of the NFL is a man by the name of Roger Goodell. Goodell. Roger Goodell. And Roger Goodell, in the face of Trump's war on wokeism and his war on women and men's sports, and his war on the left, basically, he's also at war with DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. By the way, there's no more gay flags at our embassies anywhere in the world. Thank God for that. That was an atrocity, if you ask me. But Donald Trump says no more DEI in our government. No more diversity, equity, and inclusion. We are going to a system of merit. We're looking for the best and brightest people to fill the positions that need to be filled, whatever they may be. But Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the woke National Football League, is digging in his heels, and he is declaring DEI is alive and well in the National Football League. Now, this is the same league that over the years has given us people like Colin Kaepernick, who bowed his knee, went to his knees several years back when they sang the national anthem. He wouldn't stand for the national anthem. That's fine, whatever you want to do. It wasn't long after that he was out of the league. Now, I have maintained the real reason Colin Kaepernick is no longer in the National Football League is because he's not a good quarterback. And of course, he made it a crusade, basically saying he couldn't get a job in the NFL because of all the old tired reasons, the old tropes we've all heard of. It's racism and it's all this kind of nonsense, and that's not what it is at all. If he could throw a football, he'd still be in the NFL. As a professional, he would still be in the NFL, but he can't. That's why he never got back in the league. Somebody would have snatched him up because quarterbacks are at a premium. Everybody's looking for a great quarterback. But he bowed his knee, and about a year later, he was out of the league. The National Football League is also the league, a sports league that made the Washington Redskins changed their name from the Redskins to the Commanders. And of course, there are Indians, Native Americans if you prefer, who are outraged over that action. And now they're kicking back against it and saying, we didn't want you to change your name. And they're actually bringing back at least the Redskins logo, if not the name. You see this happening over and over. You remember when they took Aunt Jemima off of syrup labels, which is ridiculous. This was a wonderful woman who she really did exist, and they just totally taken her off of their packaging. Land of Lakes Butter did the same thing. They took an Indian off of their packaging. I mean, what have you people got against black people and Indians? Why are you marginalizing people like this? I mean, it's completely backwards. They have completely caved into wokeness. They completely caved in to DEI, and in the face of DEI getting the rug pulled out from under it, Roger Goodell is digging in his heels, and this is what he said with regard to DEI, and I quote, "I think it's clearly a reflection of our fan base and our communities and our players," he said, unquote, he said, of the NFL's continued embrace of DEI. Now, folks, there's a lot of football fans in America. If you're watching me from Europe, football in America is not soccer. Soccer in America is called soccer. Pointy ball in America is called football. Roger Goodell, if you ask me, is risking alienating an awful lot of football fans with this DEI. But this is what I really want to talk about. If you're so convinced, Mr. Goodell, that the National Football League needs to fully embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion, then how come we don't see a woman out there playing for the Commanders / Redskins or Chiefs? Or, I'm sorry, the Eagles. The Eagles and Chiefs. You don't want to be a hypocrite, do you, Raj? How come we don't see any women on the field? How come we don't see any women tackling a quarterback? How come we don't see any women wide receivers, Roger? If you really believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion, why don't we see that? Doesn't that kind of make you a hypocrite? If you really want to embrace DEI, shouldn't it be a team, let's say one of the teams is made up completely of women going up against a team completely of men? Or maybe we should have half the team should be women on each side and half of them men. There's 11 players on the field at one time. Why don't you make 5 or 6 of them women and 5 or 6 on the other side women, so you've got women and men all together playing in the Super Bowl, Raj? Why don't you do that? Because it's ridiculous and he knows it. That's why. That's why this man is a hypocrite. He doesn't really believe in DEI. If he really did believe in DEI, then he ought to put some chicks on the field, and not as cheerleaders. There's a reason you don't see women playing professional football and professional baseball, folks. And the reason should be patently obvious. That does not make me a misogynist. It does not make me a bigot. It does not make me a male chauvinist. It makes me a realist. To say that a woman cannot play professional football alongside a man is not denigrating or disrespectful to women. This does not mean that women are inferior to men, nor does it mean that they have less value as a human being than a man. It just means we have different roles. There are things women do that I cannot do myself. And there are things that men do that women cannot do, such as play professional football. Is that just not common sense? And that is sorely lacking in the United States, is it not? So Trump is trying to end DEI, and good on him. I hope that he does. All right, folks, there you have it. Listen, please do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to the Triple T channel if you have not. If you would like to buy me a cup of coffee, that would be really cool. The links are down below. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by doing that. If you appreciate the content, it's kind of like leaving a tip, and you got to help Marina pay for this stuff, right? Give me your comments down below. I'd really love to hear what you have to say. Hey, look, this is Trailer Trash Tim. It's great to have you all with me, and I will see you soon.